Hi there. One of the nastiest put downs used to insult somebody that I've come across is responding to when they tell you something, a personal story, something that's important to them, with the words, I couldn't care less. How many lives are damaged and maybe even destroyed around us because the world's attitudes and actions towards needy people say, I couldn't care less. How beautiful wouldn't the world be if this ungodly outlook or philosophy was replaced by the Christian attitude where we say, I couldn't care more. Now, it's possible for two different people to look at the same situation and see things quite differently. I want us to look at Jesus and see how he reacted to and dealt with needy people. In Matthew 9, from verse 35, it says, Jesus traveled through all the towns and villages of that area, teaching in the synagogues and announcing the good news about the kingdom. And he healed every kind of disease and illness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were confused and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. And he said to his disciples, the harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his field. In the light of this Bible passage, I'm going to read out, and if you're on our WhatsApp group, I'm going to send you 4 questions that I want you to either think about if you're on your own or discuss with the people that are around you. And the first one is, what did Jesus do for the crowds besides proclaiming the gospel to them? Secondly, how did Jesus describe this crowd of people? How did he see them? It's in verse 36. Excuse me. The third question I want you to look at is, what was Jesus' attitude? How did he feel when he looked on these crowds of people and responded to them? And the fourth thing I want you to look at is, do you think that compassion is automatic for us as Christians? Or is it a response that we can and sometimes have to put effort in to choose? I want you to pause, whether you're listening or watching now, and discuss those 4 questions. And then when you press play again, we'll continue. Well, if you played and paused and you're playing again, welcome back. Romans 15 verse 1 says something very interesting. We who are strong must be considerate of those who are sensitive about things like this. We must not just please ourselves. We should help others do what's right and build them up in the Lord. For even Christ didn't live to please himself. As the scripture says, the insults of those who insulted you, O God, have fallen on me. And while compassion comes quite naturally to some of us, others of us don't find it that easy. But we as children of God are told to exercise compassion. This means we must do it because it's good and right, not just because we feel like it. And if we're going to exercise it, the more we do it, the easier it'll become and the better we will become at it. Remember, this passage says Jesus didn't live to please himself. And oftentimes, we don't want to feel compassion or show compassion because it costs us and we're selfish and we don't want to get involved. And we might find somebody who's like a stray dog. You're nice to them and they follow you home. We need to realize that as Christians, there's a hurting world out there. If I'm going to say to my neighbor, I couldn't care more, then I really need to open my heart to God so that he can fill it with his love for other people. In 1 Corinthians 13 verse 3, it says, if I donate all my goods to feed the poor, and if I give my body to be burned, but do not have love, I gain nothing. A helping hand without love will not draw anyone closer to the Lord. People can sense whether we are serious and whether we really care, or whether we're doing it for some hidden agenda. People don't just need handouts or assistance. They need to feel that they really are loved and valued, that they matter. If we're honest, as you and I go through life, we cross paths with hundreds of people, sometimes hundreds of people every week. How many of them, deep inside, feel lonely and are looking for somebody to care? With this lockdown, I'm sure you know how it feels to be cut off from loved ones. I want you to discuss 2 more questions before you pray for each other. The first one is, who do you know who needs somebody to show them love and compassion? And the next one, what can you do practically in the next couple of days to show that person that you know that needs love and compassion, to show them that you couldn't care more? Share this with the people that you're with if you're with folk, and ask them to pray for you, and then to hold you accountable and to phone you or ask you in a couple of days' time, did you do what God laid on your heart to do? To show love and compassion, and to be those workers that God is sending out into the harvest to bring it in. May God strengthen you to do this. Bless you. Cheers.